Hello friends, and welcome back to my channel. I hope that you are relaxing wherever you are after work or whatever. Today's video is going to be kind of a continuation of my last video where I was raving about this thing, which is my Nook light. And as you can see, it is totally unresponsive. This thing just kind of died on me. And by thing, I mean just the touch screen. Weirdly, these buttons and stuff still work, so I can restart this like 10,000 times like I've done already, but the touch screen itself doesn't work. Now, to be fair, if you watch my last video, you know that I did mod this, so I think you mess with stuff and you have to pay the consequences sometimes. And unfortunately, this is one of those times. And now I won't be able to resell or reboot this. That is actually what I was doing when this died, is I was actually rebooting it. I was putting the stock software back on and doing like a whole thing, and clearly I think it did something to it in the sense that now the touch screen doesn't work. So I did get the stock software back on here though, like it did the reboot. It just now does not actually like work, because as you can see, it says behind here like let's get started. So it is ready to do that, it just won't do it. Like it won't let me use the touch screen. I saw a lot of people online say that you can like clean the outside or like this and whatnot. Did all that, trust me. I have done everything and this thing is just done. Unless, you know, there's someone out there that has like another idea of what I could try. I think this at this point is garbage. And you know what? Maybe this is a lesson not to mess with your stuff. But today's video is actually about the fact that I ended up, this pushed me to buy a Kindle Paperwhite, which is what I have here in all of its glory. It is the, it is like the raspberry one, the pink one. I'm loving it. I really love this. And I've got one of those like sleep covers. I'll link this below, but what's nice about this cover is it does come off. So like, it's just got like a, not me knocking the camera, it's got like a magnet on it. So you can use it both as a sleep cover, but also as just a clear cover, which I do really like. And I'm very much enjoying that. I did put co-reader on this as well, but you know what? This whole experience has made me realize that, well, it made me realize two things. One, I was not using co-reader to its full potential, because I do also have this Kindle first gen that this is my first ever e-reader. This is from like 2018 or 2019. They no longer make the white version. They recently started making a matcha version, which is essentially replacing this one. And while the DPI looks really good here on this, my issue with this is that my eyes were getting really old and I was not really able to read on this anymore, even with co-reader. It just, the difference is so stark. Let me open this up. And you can kind of, I mean, I think you can't really tell on camera because I have changed the DPI settings on this to make it like slightly better. But let me open my book on this side, and I do feel, and I've got totally different fonts going, but I would say there is a very noticeable difference once you hold a Paperwhite. If you've never had a Paperwhite, it is so noticeable, the difference. I'm going to see if I can turn off the backlight on this, just so you guys can maybe get an idea of what I'm saying. So I'll just turn it off. So I don't have the backlight on either of these. I do feel like this is misleading because on this one I have it flipped, but let me flip it back. So I'm gonna flip the orientation back to what it should be, and then I'm also gonna change the font back to what I have over there. I think I have this one going. Okay. And so now I feel like you can really kind of, hopefully you can kind of see through my phone the difference. And it's like one of those things where until you do this in real life with your own eyes, I'm sorry, I just shook the camera. That was really annoying. it's hard. It's so hard to see. I want to get to like an actual page so you can kind of see it. And maybe I'll zoom in on this one too. Oh my God, I just looked beyond my actual phone and could tell instantly that it's so different. Now, don't get me wrong. I still love this Kindle Basic. I do. But I do think I was not using co-reader to its full potential. And also, I love having the bigger screen. Again, I'm getting older. This is so nice to be able to actually sit there and read on this. And also, I was not using co-reader to its potential. I now have a couple different things on here. You can actually add cloud storage to this. So I did that, and now I have like a Google Drive set up with this. The way you do it is with, I think it's called like WEAV, like when you show it up yeah, that's what it is. It's WebDAV. So you'll have to use this, and you'll have to make like this account on this website called Koofr. It's KOOFR, and then you can link your Gmail to that or whatever your Google Drive is. Because I thought that wasn't an option. I knew Dropbox was an option, but I don't have Dropbox. And then I realized you can just hook that up. You can also download you can download and put Z Library directly on here if you have an account, which I do. I haven't been able to get the web browser to work, but then I also love Rakuyomi so much. This is amazing. This just pulls webtoons and manga, very similar to the desktop application Mangadex or something. I think that's what it's called, or Hakuneku. Sorry, Mangadex is one of the websites you can pull from on there. But Hakuneku was a way that was basically how I was getting manga on my e-readers. If you've never done that before, it's something you should look into if you're not a co-reader person. If you are a co-reader person, you can now use Rakuyomi. And that's probably been a thing for a while. I just didn't know that. The other really great thing is this has a HID like Bluetooth pass through that you can add to the Kindles. I know if you have an Android or some other sort of e-reader, you should be able to do a Bluetooth little clicker anyway. But now I don't have to do, if you guys saw my last video, I was trying to get the clip-on on this, and I hate those things so much. Like, and I have another clicker that is just Bluetooth operated, and now I can use that on here because it has that HID pass-through. So I really think that this is, this is brand new, and I was able to just get this installed on here. They ship out with like a lower software, so you're able to actually put co-reader on here. I understand that's still a risk though, just because these can accidentally update. Even if you put on the hotfix and all of that stuff, there's a lot of people on Reddit who are saying that there's just updated regardless. So do be wary of that it could just go back to stock firmware. I'm going to be honest, and let me just pull this out here. I feel like, I'll bring it back in just a sec. I just need to check something. But I feel like even if co-reader got lifted off of this thing, I would still use it because I still have my Z Library account and everything. I can still send a Kindle. And I'm becoming this person that now I understand why there are so many people on the internet who are like, well, I just like the simplicity of subscription services. I'm still not really that person. And I'm trying so hard to exit out of co-reader right now, and it doesn't want to. And see, these are the things that feel a bit like, yeah, this is frustrating to use at times. Okay, now it's loading. And there was something on here that I didn't want you guys to see because I'm actually reading. I'm reading a book right now for, it's like a, Can I Learn How to Speak? It is an author friend of mine. It lent me their book, and so I was reading that, so I don't want to show you guys that. But anyway, even stock firmware, like, I don't hate this. I really do not. Like, let's pull up a book here. A book I paid for. And I also do have Calibre, so I did reload these into my, I removed the DRM or whatever. But, I kind of understand the appeal of just using a Kindle account, Kindle Unlimited. I'm really just starting to understand. And even if you don't want to do that, you literally can you can use your public library, which I also do. And I pay for a public library as well. See, I'm so used to the co-reader situation that I don't remember how to do this. But I was saying in my last video that I couldn't change the orientation on my reading. And I think that that's because I had an older Kindle, so it didn't have that option. But you are actually able to change the orientation on the newer software. And I love to read like this. Although on this bigger device, I don't need to do this as much. So I can pretty much set up myself really great on the stock firmware on this too. And I know that's going to sound insane to a lot of people. And I also think that companies are starting to understand that people are just tired at the end of their day. And it's not the subscription service that people love. It's more the fact that, or maybe in this case it is, I think it's more the convenience factor more than anything. And because these companies can't charge like $1 to $2 a book, which they do sometimes, or $1 to $2 a movie or whatever, if you've got Netflix, people are actually okay with kind of paying for a rental service. Just like I was paying for an additional public library because my main public library isn't the best, you know? But I mean, just look at the DPI on this device. There is a reason why Kindles are just so fucking popular. Excuse my language. They just really are so, they are actually just some of the best software. I have, like, as you guys see, I had this Nook that died. But I used to have two BOX devices, Books, which I do think is pretty good. I had a Books Go 6, and I had a Books Palma. I call them Books. I think it's Books. And then I also have a Big Me e-reader. I have the color one, and I hate that thing. It comes with a pen, and I kind of like it, but I also don't because the pen doesn't function the way I want it to. And I, for the life of me, like have not been able to really figure it out. And then when I did finally figure it out, I don't like it. These just work out of the box. Okay. Most people want stuff that just works. And because, you know, this is, you know, a channel that I'm a woman for femmes, you know, but at the same time, even if you're not a femme, this is like, it's just ease of use, you know? My partner's not a woman. I think he prefers this type of thing. He's not really a reader anymore, so he doesn't have like Kindles or anything. But we were talking the other day, like I don't pay for any subscription services anymore for streaming. I just buy my stuff. I will buy DVDs of stuff that I'm interested in watching because I realize that like at the end of the day, I also don't have enough time to like watch all of these things. And so that's kind of been my mentality now. But even in stock firmware of Kindle, right? I can just purchase the ebook. I'll spend what? I'm going to read 2 books a month. That's all I've got time for. I'll spend $25, but then that book is mine, you know? And you could do Kindle Unlimited if you read a lot more than that. And I understand the deal of that because I had it at one point as well. You're going to read 6 to 8 books a month. Yeah, you could just do Kindle Unlimited, and I think the author gets a cut of that. Is it as good as like if you purchase the book? Probably not. But some people purchase a physical collection after. I don't know. This is all like what you want to do, you know? And I am someone that does like tinkering, and I'm okay with spending the time to set up something to work the way I need it to. So for me, I do prefer the co-reader side of things. But if this were to shut down and not work all of a sudden, like I would not really be mad at that. I just really wouldn't be. I think it works fine the way that it is. And I do think this is a really good deal. I do think it's a better deal than this Nook Low Light because this is also $150. This Kindle I bought, 16 gigs, is $150. This is a better value because apparently even if you don't mess with these glow lights here, they will shut down on you. They will just randomly shut down on you. And I used to have a glow light back in the day. That was technically my first e-reader. I misspoke, but that was like that was like right when they came out, maybe like in 2010 or something like that, 2011. And I read all the Hunger Game books on those. That Nook I had functioned really well. And so I think some people still find some of those old ones, but even the old ones, I think they had the same like screen dying issue. I did not have that issue with mine. Nook has pretty good customer support. They're willing to send you another one, but what I don't like is that they want you to ship it to them, which is fine. That's also fine, actually. What I really don't like is that they're like, can you give us a credit card before I ship it back to you? And then if we decide it's broken and it's no fault of your own, we'll ship you another one for free. But if we decide that it was your fault, we're going to charge you $150 before we send you another one. So you don't get a second chance to say no. I don't like that. Nook, if you're listening, I really hate that. I think that you need to offer your customers a guarantee. I mean, it's fine if we ship it back and, you know, it's through fault of the customer or whatever, but then give that person an option of whether or not you're going to charge their card $150 just to get a new one. That's why I bought this, because I said, I'm not going to get another one for $150 and it not work. If I have to spend $150 anyway, then I'm just going to go ahead and get myself a Kindle. You know what I mean? And then this is like so much nicer. It's a bigger screen, same price. Really, I just, I don't know. I think this is actually a better bang for your buck. Hopefully I don't eat my words like I did with my last video and then this one just dies or something. But I mean, like I said, I've had my other Kindle since 2019, and I do still like it. I am considering selling that though, because at this point, I feel like this is the one that I need. This is it. And also, the DPI on this is so clear. I'm going to show you my webtoon on here. I have tried to read manga and webtoons on my old one. I think manga still works pretty well, but webtoons, because they're supposed to be colored, they don't necessarily work that well. I'm going to pull into my co-reader again so you guys can see this. But I feel like the way webtoons look on this, I like it even more than my color e-reader. Like, I just like the way it looks. It looks so good. So I'm going to go ahead and open that up for you guys. But I don't know. I'm curious what you guys think about this. Like, what as consumers are you actually buying? Because, I'm kind of in this space. So I see people on Reddit saying that they want certain things. Like they love co-reader and all these things. And I do believe, obviously, there is a space for that on the internet. If you're watching this video, you probably are one of those people. But, okay, so I already read this one. So I'm going to, by the way, this is a really good webtoon. My Bias Gets on the Last Train. I highly recommend. Highly recommend. I was clearly looking at this upside down. But, like, look how good this looks. This is like, I mean, look at that. It does not look like that on my old. I wish I had this loaded up on my old Kindle. It would not look like this. It is so clear. And it looks so much better than color e-ink even. Like, this is gorgeous, truly. I really love it. It's just, I have no need for any other device. I'm obsessed with this thing right now. So I guess that's it. That's the review. I might do another video soon talking about my little XT e-ink device that I recently got. This has co-sync on it, and I really feel like these two together have been a great combination for me, so that's probably going to be one of my next videos. Look out for that is what I wanted to say. But thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments, like, what, if you are a co-reader user, what device do you use co-reader on? Like, what's your preference? And if you are just a Kindle user and you're like confused why anyone ever wants to use co-reader, I'd love to hear from you too. I like hearing the other side of the conversation as well, because I do understand the convenience. At the end of the day, it's like, you want to sit down and play your video game, you want to sit down and read your book, and all you have time for is like 10 seconds. You got to get in there. You got to get in there. When you're like an adult with kids and a whole life, you got maybe 30 minutes to yourself per day. If you really want to get stuff in, you kind of have to make it work, right? You don't have time for this tinkering. Because even this, like, people say, oh, it takes me 12 minutes to, get this modded and get co-reader on here. No, this was like a whole night for me. I put aside a night for this. This took me a good 2-3 hours. the whole total of it. Maybe it's not supposed to take that long, but I really wanted to be careful. Like, this is an expensive thing that I wanted to make sure I was treating well. And it took some time, you know, and part of me kind of started to have this weird moment, like this conversation of morality where I was like, what is, you know, should I even be doing this? Like, should I have just gotten a third party device to do this so that it wasn't like questionable whether or not I was putting this on there? Should I have gotten a pocketbook? I noticed a lot of people like pocketbook. But I don't know. I just, it's a hard thing because I love the hardware on this. And I think, honestly, for me at this point, if Kindle Unlimited added webtoons, I know they have tons of manga. I might just go the other way. Like, I'm really hitting that point. But then I also feel like these subscription services are extremely greedy. And I'm also a saver. I'm a big money saver. So especially this year is kind of like one of those years where I need to save money. But then it's like, am I really saving money? Because I'm buying all these devices and stuff. So I don't know if you guys are in this capitalist hellscape with me. I'm just curious, like, what you think about all of this, and I'm open to your opinions. But I'm so happy with this versus this. So if you watched my last video, I really think just go with the Kindle, seriously. And I've not tried a color soft, so I couldn't tell you. My sister has one though, and she did say that she prefers her Paperwhite to the color soft because of how clear it is, and so. I'm so happy. I'm really glad I got a color soft, and that's it. Thanks, guys.